All right, guys, welcome to episode number 22 of the Basecamp Country podcast. We have a special guest with us today from Tactacam. We're going to talk to her, get to know her a little bit, get to know the company a little bit. But first, we have a quick word from our sponsors. So here we go. Let's get into it. Put a lot into your land: time, money, and hard work. But is it reaching its full potential? At Basecamp Country, our land and habitat management plans are built to improve the quality of your wildlife, maximize hunting opportunities, and increase long-term value. Whether you need a fresh take on food plots, timber management, or overall habitat improvements, Basecamp Country's got you covered. Give us a call and let's put together a plan that works for you.
This episode is brought to you by Basecamp Country Real Estate. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own piece of the great outdoors, now's the time to make it happen. Basecamp Country specializes in buying and selling hunting land, farms, and ranches, and we understand the land and the people who love it. At Basecamp Country, it's more than just dirt, it's a lifestyle. We are land professionals, outdoorsmen and women who know what it's like to walk the woods and work the land and chase big dreams. Whether you're selling property or looking for your own getaway spot, we are here to guide you every step of the way. And hey, if you're looking for more than just land, ever thought about a new career? Basecamp Country is hiring new and experienced agents across the country. So if you're passionate about the outdoors and want to build a lifelong dream of doing what you love, we've got the tools and training to help you succeed. So whether you're buying or selling real estate or starting something new, like a new career, head on over to basecampcountry.com and see how we can help you. And remember, here at Basecamp Country, it's more than just dirt, it's a lifestyle.
All right, guys. Well, we have a guest with us today by the name of Tammy Guest. Tammy, how are you doing?
I'm good, Kix. How are you?
I'm great. We have a co-host with us today by the name of Tom James. Tom, how you doing, sir?
Hello, sir. Good to see you as always. Thank you. And hi, Tammy. Thanks for joining us today.
Tom, you know a little bit more about Tammy and Tactacam probably than I do. So why don't you introduce Tammy and talk a little bit about her and what you guys have been working on here? Kind of exciting stuff.
Well, sure. Yeah. So I can't remember the exact year that Tactacam entered the cell cam market or that world, but Tactacam has been around for quite a long time with a point of view camera that you could attach to your bow or your gun, and that was received very, very well in the industry. All of us guys that are serious deer hunters and managers have been running trail cameras for a very long time. So it really takes something new and exciting, and I would say an advancement in technology to really capture a big market share in this part of the industry. But when Tactacam released their reveal cameras, which are their trail cameras that were cell cams, it did exactly that. And I'm kind of a person that when I'm in a brand that works for me and I've trusted it, I'm a kind of a hard person to get to switch over. But I kept seeing and hearing the reviews about how awesome the Tactacams were, the reveal cameras for trigger speed, battery life, false triggers, lack of false triggers, all the things that people deal with when you're running trail cameras, not to mention the ability to have cell cameras that can be placed in remote areas that have a good signal and a connection to the app where you can, and by the way, on the app too, having um, subscriptions that are affordable, for guys that run 8, 10, 12 plus cameras, that can add up every month. So all those boxes were checked with Tactacam. I started using them myself, and once I did, I completely switched over and run nothing but them now. And so when the opportunity came for an industry partnership of sorts with Tactacam and Basecamp Country Real Estate, I was excited about it. I felt like it was going to be we received very well across the board with all of our agents, because just like me, a lot of the guys on our roster had been using Tactacam for several years, if not longer now. And the opportunity for us to have a business relationship to share, cross promote each other's products and services, but also to equip our staff and agents with the products and be able to share our experiences with them, with our clientele. Some are just getting into the trail cam and cell cam specific market for the first time. It allows us to be able to share what we believe is a wonderful product with our folks. So all that being said, Tammy and I haven't known each other really long. She and I have been communicating in email, so this was the first face-to-face, an opportunity that we've had to have a dialogue and a conversation. But I'm excited, and Tammy, maybe you can add to what I just said, or offer any other insights from your perspective about joining forces, if you will, with Basecamp Country Real Estate.
Absolutely, Tom. I took on the position of outfitter sales manager back in the fall last year. And one of the first projects that I worked on was creating a realty specific program. The outfitter program was received so well over the last year and a half, 2 years or so that we've had it going. I'm not exactly sure on that, but we thought, why not offer this to some of our bigger realty companies? So, what we do is number one, we have the utmost best customer service team out there. So, I have a few agents that are senior agents that if you guys have any of our products, need help setting them up, have questions, need help with billing, whatever, we assign well-knowledged agents to help your agents get the best out of their cameras. Number two, we offer a product discount for you and all of your agents. It's a significant discount on product and on data. We also we have two new products that have released in the last year that also have been received really well in the realty community, so to speak. One of them is our Defend security camera. Cellular security, don't have to have Wi-Fi to run it, don't have to have hardwire to run it. So for some of these remote ranches or farms or hunt camps, these are perked. The difference in the Defend camera and the Reveal is the Defend camera is optimized to be put 8 to 10 foot high, shooting down with a wider angle lens so you capture more. I mean, they're easy to hide over the gates, into the properties, the cabins, or just properties that you don't have Wi-Fi or you don't have hardwire capability. And we've also released a feather snap camera, which is a bird feeder camera. It's gone over really well. I have a lot of agents across the country that purchase, 8 or 16 of these at a time and just give them to closing gifts. So that's another big selling point for the feather snap is, the husband buys a big ranch and the wife's like, what am I getting out of the deal? At least he can kind of appease her and say, hey, here's your bird feeder camera. Yeah. But it seems to work really well as a closing gift. As you know,
good for a wife's present too. My wife making me buy some of them.
Heck yeah. And they're very educational kicks. I actually bought one and put in my little grandson's first grade class. And the teachers used it all year for educational purposes because the feather snap identifies your birds, tells you their seed preference, the range of area. We hired an ornithologist. Her name is Maria. She is amazing. So it's not just throw a camera out there and here you go. We have a lot of back end development on this product that makes it stand out from the rest. Yep. So those are the two new products that have released within the last year. And as always, we have our Reveal cameras, our latest Reveal cameras. The technology is above and beyond any other that I know on the market at the time because they require no memory card. They have internal memory. They don't make you choose which cell carrier that you want. As every time that you power the new 3.0 line of cameras on, they will automatically connect to the best cell tower. So we have US Cellular, Verizon, AT&T. So that seems to be a really good selling point for those two. Just flip them on, they connect to whichever's best and turn them on and go. And another good point about the cameras is say you have 12 reveals set up to sell a whitetail property. Your client says, well, just leave those with me, Perfect. We can take those 12 cameras and roll them from your agent's account directly over to the client's account. No interruptions whatsoever. Boom, it's done.
I could definitely see where it'd be a cool little closing gift. I might have to start doing that. I never even, you know, got kind of never crossed my mind when I was looking at this program, but I think that's a great idea. Actually, I have to buy a few of them and maybe give those away as some closing gifts to my customers.
Yeah, I mean, for you guys, it's pretty inexpensive closing gift, but it's better received than a ball cap or a sticker or,
Yeah.
things to you typically use. You can add that in there. They're like, wow.
Well, I hate to keep talking about this bird feeder thing, but we homeschool our girls, and man, that feather snap bird feeder is really cool because when you homeschool your girls, you're always looking, or you homeschool your kids, I should say, you're always looking for different ways to try to educate them and teach them. And that's just something that's really neat. You can set it out there in the yard and they can sit there and watch it. And then, they get a little notification on their phone or whatever, and then birds come in. It's kind of really cool deal for learning and educational purposes for that.
It is. I know the teacher emailed me about 2 weeks ago. She said, school's coming to a close. Do I get to keep this camera? And I'm like, if you're using it, yes, but I don't mind. I'll probably have to buy another one when he goes into second grade because she's used it a lot. Just identifying birds that we all see robins, we all see doves, we all see blackbirds, cardinals, but there's birds that attend the feeder. I'm like, what is that bird? And then you pop it up and AI identifies it. It's like, that is cool.
Yeah,
That is really cool.
it is really neat.
So
Talk to us a little bit about the cameras you offer for the reveal side of things. I know you got the 3.0 kind of. What's the differences in your game cameras?
the Reveal Pro 3 is our higher end camera at the moment. It has a total blackout flash. So when the camera is triggered and it flashes, you don't see it. Animals don't see it. Has an LCD screen. That is the main two key differences. The Pro 3 also has the capability to push instant 30-second videos and a 5 multi-shot send. So it'll snap 5 photos in a row. That the 3.0 has a low glow infrared flash, so it just barely illuminates red and goes back off. The retail price on it is a little bit less than the Pro. It does not have the LCD screen. Both of the cameras have GPS capability, so every time that the cameras are powered on, it's going to connect and give you GPS coordinates in the map on your app that shows where the cameras are located. Both of them have internal memory. No more SD cards required. There is still an SD card slot in both cameras. So if you do want to pull the data from the camera and pop it in your computer, you can do it that way. Both cameras, like I said, connect to the best cellular carrier every time that they're power cycled. And then that's your core key differences in the two cameras is your flash and your LCD screen, and then your 3 versus your 5-shot multi-send photo. Now that being said, both of the cameras, the lens have been updated. They're phenomenal. The picture clarity is there. What we offer to you guys as well is we have what's called an extra plan. Now, our extra plan is a $9 add-on plan that adds on to your unlimited plan that gives you all the bells and whistles in the app. We offer that to all your agents, no charge. That gives you access to a mapping system. You click on maps in your app. It brings you up where your cameras are located, gives you GPS coordinates, also brings up your property lines, your neighboring property lines with their names. You can click on the neighbor's property line. It tells you their physical address. So say you have a camera put out on a property and you're like, I'd like to look at that property. It'll show you their name, show you their address, their contact information so you can reach out to them. And that continually updates. Every time the cameras are power cycled, the GPS coordinates does update. If you turn it, and it's a good security feature too. So if you have a camera stolen, as long as that camera is on, it's going to continually update. Say whoever steals it turns the camera off, their first instinct when they get home with it, they're going to flip it on and try to look at the photos on it. Well, boom, your GPS coordinates update. So that's your 3 main differences. Our app has been updated to include colorized nighttime photos, which is included with this extra plan. We have weather statistics on the cameras. So say that you yourself are targeting one particular buck this fall. You can save all of his pictures into a gallery on the app and run statistics on that gallery. It will tell you the main time of day that he's moving for an average on those photos that you've saved to that gallery. It'll tell you average moon phase, average sun phase, average barometric pressure, so on and so forth. So I actually pinpointed a buck early season last year by using the statistics. I'm like, this is so cool. It told me he wasn't moving right before dark, even though it was 90 degrees. He was moving about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So guess who was in the stand about 1 o'clock? It got him. So it's just a lot of technology that is so far advanced in our app, and it continually, our IT guy that works on the app, the team is amazing. We have customers that send in, well, I wish it would do this. Well, bam, next app update. If it's a legit request, then they add it in.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't know I had all those capabilities, so I'm glad you shared that information. Do you have a bird? Am I hearing a bird in the background?
Do, and that's a long story. Typically they kind of sit up there and rest, but had a little granddaughter that her and her mom lived with me last year for a bit, and she is a parakeet parrot fanatic. So I promised her if she made the straight A honor roll for the whole year at school, I would buy her a pair of parakeets. Well, she did, and then when they moved, Mom said the birds can't go.
Oh no! So you got stuck with them.
But they're kind of cool. They're entertaining. They're entertaining, and when she comes to spend the night or spend the weekend, she gets them out, and she remembers. I make straight A's. I get rewarded a little bit. So
That's awesome. Well, Tom, why don't you jump in here a little bit? Tell us about your experience with the Tactacam and with the reveal cameras that you run, and what do you use all the bells and whistles on those, or?
Well, I have a confession to make. Just like I'm a little hard to change brands, I'm kind of hard to upgrade, or a little slow to come around to upgrading from one generation of a product to the next. I'm still running all the not the original, but I guess you would call it version 2, Tammy, um, reveal cameras right now currently on my properties. So I need to start either shuffling those off to a buddy, or do figure out some way to upgrade to the 3.0s. But I will tell you one thing that I was always worried about without having had one in my possession yet was that I knew that you could do not use an SD card, but I didn't know that you could still use an SD card if you so choose to, because a lot of us nerds still like the idea of pulling a card and bringing it home and dumping pictures onto a folder on your laptop or whatever too. So that's nice to know that I can still do that on the latest versions. But all those increased improvements on the app and the functionality, man, that's mind blowing. I'm behind the times. I need to catch up with all these improvements that you guys have integrated, and that's exciting stuff.
yes, and I think I have upgraded several of my Reveal X's and my Gen 1s to the new Pros. The 3.0s, the photo quality is just, the photo quality was great before, but it's superb. And then the video capabilities, the same with the Defend. The photo quality on the Defend, I have several police departments, several cities that are using the Defend as security. So the photo quality on the Defend is just as good as it is on the Reveal. So keep that in mind too when you're talking to your agents, because you can hide them easy. They're a great tool. They're a great tool.
Absolutely. I could see having one of those at my 8 and up at our camp too. Would be nice to have that as well. Add that to the arsenal.
Right. The Defend and the Reveal could run off of 12 AA batteries or AA batteries with a solar panel. They both have solar panels. Or we have lithium batteries, lithium cartridges that will fit either. Theoretically, with the Defend or the Reveal, you insert a lithium battery and a solar panel, and you never have to touch it again, because the solar panel keeps the lithium battery internally charged. The solar panel also has a lithium battery, so you've got double battery power. Um, I've had cameras out since the inception of the new solar panel and new lithium battery last fall. Haven't touched them. Haven't had to do anything.
I can tell you from experience, I have several cameras that are so second generation is called the Reveal X. You clarified that for me. That I've been using the solar panels on, and she is absolutely right. You can put a fresh set of batteries in there, charge the internal battery on the solar panel, plug it in, connect it, and a year later, as long as you have not filled up your card or whatever the other circumstances might be, the battery is still 100%, still going strong. It's incredible what it does. I kick the for folks that do a lot of run a lot of batteries or a lot of cameras, I say therefore running using a lot of batteries. The lithium battery packs just make sense. If you can buy those and having where you can take several out to the field and just change them, bring the other ones back and charge them up. That's the way to go. I'm going to definitely probably end up converting to all that, because it just, if running these things for years and years like we do, you're consuming a lot of batteries, and it's financially makes sense, and not to mention, I think just responsibly, it makes sense too, to not just be throwing away a bunch of double A's all the time. Not that it's all the time, because the battery life is awesome anyway. But inadvertently, you're going to be changing once or twice a year on in some circumstances.
We also just released a 4-slot lithium battery charger, so you can charge 4 Reveal lithium batteries at once, and it slow trickle charges them, so they get the best charge.
Nice.
Lots of good things have come out in the last year, and lots of good things coming down the pipe. So,
well, that's awesome. Tom, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you put out your game cameras, I know you run quite a bit more cameras than I do. Do you leave your cameras in the same spot year round, or do you go out, change them, move them around places to place? How do you do that?
Good question. Typically, so the answer is no. I don't leave them in the same spot unless there's one particular place. For example, have a in Indiana, you can run a mineral station. You can't hunt over them, and you can't be anywhere near them when you're hunting, but you can have mineral supplements out. So we have one spot and it's real near our cabin, that we just walk by it when we go back to hunt. So I can run a camera there throughout the year. And the usage of that will drop as the antlers harden off and as the vegetation starts to deplete through the fall, where they're not requiring salt as part of their diet as much. They will still visit it, but it's a really awesome thing, a location where you can monitor antler growth on bucks from, when you start to see nubs coming out of them, and as early as late March sometimes, but obviously like when you start to see some establishment that makes them recognizable by early June and all the way through till antlers harden off in late summer and September. So that's a camera location that I pretty much run all year round, or most of the year round. But our normal procedure is food sources, or trails leading into food sources through summer and early fall. Towards the end of October, when scrapes start showing up, man, the first sign of scrapes opening up on our logging roads, it's nice to transition some cameras to scrape locations, because again, just like any buck that walks down that logging road or that trail heading into the food sources at night is going to pretty much plan on stopping there at that. You're almost guaranteed to get every buck that walks by there stopping at a scrape, especially the ones that are traditional that they use year after year. And then as scrapes start to deplete their activity, which in the rut, the bucks are hitting the scrapes real actively all the way up until does begin to really truly come into estrus. And once they do, it's like a mad chase for several weeks. And then as the majority of the does become bred and aren't cycling any longer, then the bucks will hit the scrapes again aggressively for a period of time, and then that'll slowly wane. So understanding that cycle, it's nice to be able to transfer cameras over to those locations. But pinch points, funnels that are traditional that deer use year round, it's another good location that we keep cameras in nonstop. The other exception to that is about this time of year, we're starting to look at and focus at turkeys now. And we'll move some cameras back to some open areas to see if we can catch the gobbler strutting in the fields and kind of understand maybe what time they're visiting. Of course, a lot of that's dependent from day to day and the weather, but we do use that as some information for us to plan on maybe what fields to stand by and listen to in the morning and see where they're gobbling at. So yeah, food sources to scrapes to open areas to funnels, maybe even traditional mineral stations, those kinds of things where legal, are sort of our annual routine on camera rotation.
About how many cameras do you run, Tom?
Well, I have probably as many as 16 or 18 at one time. But then what I have been finding too, Tammy, recently in the last year, I've had more squirrels chew the corners on my cameras now, just, to get that plastic, which is unfortunately, and it's not the camera's fault. Unfortunately, you get some moisture inside electronics, and those two don't go together very well. So I've had to retire some of mine. If I catch them in time, I'll oftentimes just put a little bit of um, some construction adhesive or something and kind of repair the hole to keep the moisture out. And I've got several of them that look like they've been like a spotted cow because they've got dabs of that stuff all over them, and that does work. But so I'm probably down to 10 to 12 right now.
Gotcha. Well, we eat a lot of squirrel and dumplings and fried squirrel around here. So I don't know that I've ever had one chewed on, ever. But we do keep them kind of thinned down. I mean,
I just think it was something that maybe it was something that they were lacking in their food source this last year because I really hadn't noticed it before. And then all of a sudden,
right.
it seemed like every camera this past season got chewed on for whatever reason. They were trying to find something somewhere that they weren't getting.
Hmm, interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know the squirrels, sometimes they try to destroy bird feeders, so they started putting cayenne pepper in the bird seed, and that deters the squirrels, so that might work. Yeah. But there's nothing better video wise than when you have that camera set to picture video and download that video of a big buck on a scrape. Other than a strutting turkey, that's probably my favorite videos.
Absolutely, I agree with you there.
Tom, you got anything else you want to mention here?
She mentioned earlier the difference between the red glow, the infrared low glow lighting to the total blackout, and I believe that most hunters would agree that even you and I, as humans, can see the low glow infrared when we walk by a camera, and sometimes you will notice a deer's reaction in a video, or it'll catch their attention. I know the coyotes especially do on our property. They about turn inside out when they see the infrared light come on. But I think deer are individual characteristics, as far as their response to that. Their characteristics vary just like humans do. And a lot of our bucks don't mind it at all. They'll walk by the same camera, get their video taken
Right.
multiple times a night, and not even look at it, like they don't even notice that the camera's there. Other times you will see a deer that will stop and look at the camera. It will obviously had seen the infrared light come on, but then it just goes about its merry way. And other times you'll see the extreme, which is, I will say, it's rare, but it does happen occasionally where a deer will look at the camera from the infrared glow and move away from it and maybe avoid it next time around. So I do believe that the blackout lighting, the illumination for nighttime videos and pictures is a game changer. I do believe that takes away all the potential concern that you might have for a spooking a deer with the illumination for nighttime photography and video work. So I think that's a wonderful option for folks to be able to go to that in the Pro series, in the 3.0. And I'm looking forward to that switch myself. Just gives you a little bit more
Right.
peace of mind because we all know these big mature bucks that have survived years of hunting and avoided cars and coyotes and everything else. They're a fine-tuned machine for every little difference in their surroundings. So everything that we
They
can
are.
do to keep them as our presence unknown to them, excuse me, as possible, the better off we are at capturing the information that we'd like to have on them.
Yeah. The reasoning for the low glow flash is if you're putting cameras on field edges, it gets you, several more yards of flash. Um, you can turn the settings down to a low flash on those, and it doesn't illuminate quite as much. But That's the reasoning behind the logo, is just to get you a little more yardage for flash features at night.
Right, and that's a good point because your app has always allowed me to be able to, the illumination,
Mhm.
we can turn that down, so that's a good point. I didn't wanna make it sound like it was one and, one and in, and that's all the options that you have, but no, that's a great point. It's fine
Yeah,
tunable.
the pros are a phenomenal camera. Of course, a lot of people don't care. They want that price point camera, but the pros, especially in bear country, a bear is going to detect anything. So I sell a lot. Most of my Canadian customers use the pros. They tend to love them up there where there's a lot of a bear activity too. But and keeping your hands clean when you go set the cameras out. You don't think about it. It's middle of the day. You don't think about keeping your hands clean, wearing gloves to try to keep any scent off the camera at all. I have a couple clients that take a scent wipe, whatever brand they use, and spray it down with their favorite scent preventative and wipe the cameras down. I'm like, I don't go that far, but I do wear gloves.
Yeah, all good tips, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Tammy, you got any final thoughts here that you want to talk about before we jump off here? We've had a pretty good show so far, I think.
No, just feel free to share. I emailed you both the Realty Partnership Program. Feel free to share it. And like I said, have the agents reach directly out to me. I like to make sure that they're taken care of on a one-on-one basis. Um, Going back to the customer service, if you have any agents that do have any questions, any concerns, have them email me directly. Give me a call. I 99% of the time answer my phone. Turkey season coming up. I might not answer it at 7 a.m. now, but I will get back to you. So,
Awesome. Yeah, we can certainly share. All of our agents will be able to see this episode, and if they haven't already reached out to you, I'm going to continue to encourage them to do so. And you'll be hearing also
right.
from me too as I upgrade my account and order some new of the pros here pretty soon.
Yeah, you won't be sorry. I promise. They are a phenomenal camera, and that's one thing I can say. The owners of the company, they want that top technology. We've been named top trail camera of the year for a few years running now, so they want to keep that title, and they jump in there. All of the owners, all of the partners jump in there and work with us every single day to make the products that we have the best in the industry. So that speaks loudly for them and for the company.
Absolutely. That's good to know.
Well, Tammy, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this podcast. It was great to get to know a little bit about you and about the cameras. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you're more than welcome, and reach out with any questions you have. It's nice to see you finally, Tom.
Yeah, you as well, Tammy. Nice to meet you. Look forward to continuing the relationship. We appreciate it very much.
Tammy, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in getting some cameras?
That I emailed you the industry partner program to your email kicks, and I think Tom has it too. My cell phone number, my personal cell phone number is on that, my email. So just have them reach out.
Perfect. Will do. Tom, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time today.
Absolutely.
Man.
Enjoy it as always.
Always great having you as a co-host on here, so thank you. Well, this has been episode number 22 of the Basecamp Country Podcast. Do not forget, here at Basecamp Country, it's more than just dirt. It's a lifestyle. We will see you guys again right here on the Basecamp Country Podcast.